all due respect, Your Honor, this is an arraignment, not a trial.
Mr. Corinthos has been charged with murdering his wife. If he's convicted, he may spend the rest of his life in prison. Detective Falconeri can speak to the millions stashed away in various offshore accounts, which makes Mr. Corinthos a serious flight
Objection,
risk.
Your Honor. She's speaking for her
Miss
client.
Davis, don't make me throw you out.
Your Honor, again, with all due respect, Detective Falconeri's testimony at this point in the proceedings would be prejudicial to my client.
Detective Falconeri has a thorough knowledge of Mr. Corinthos' holdings.
She's doing it
and would
again.
thereby
So are
be
you, Miss Davis.
Now, I can understand why my esteemed colleagues don't want Detective Falconeri to testify. He is the one person who can put Mr. Corinthos where he belongs before, during, and after the trial. Behind bars.
Your Honor, I realize that I'm not officially on this case, but to try this case, an arraignment could not only poison the water, it could set the stage for an appeal.
I'm sure you're familiar with my appeals record.
Your Honor, I am. Your appeals record is very low.
Shall we at least entertain the notion that I know what I'm doing?
I apologize, Your Honor, but she is still...
That's it, Miss Davis. You can immediately step up as co-counsel or you can leave the courtroom. You got 5 seconds.
I've already been offered to act as co-counsel.
And I will gladly accept your offer if you will agree to join my firm.
3 seconds. Mother B.
Okay, fine, all right, I'll join your firm.
Welcome aboard.
Your Honor, getting back to the matter at hand, may I please question Detective Falconeri?
Your Honor, bail has been set. Mr. Corinthos has done nothing to indicate that he's a flight risk.
That may well be true, but Miss Walsh has every right to ask that bail be revoked. I need more information before I can make a decision. Ms. Walsh, you may call Detective Falconeri to the stand.
She's gonna ask Dante how he got shot.
Let her. If Dante changes his story, he perjures himself, which opens the case for reasonable doubt, which might lead to a mistrial.
All I want is for you to protect him. That's it.
You can't have it both ways,
Yes, you
Sonny.
can.
No, I cannot protect you simultaneously with the man who's testifying against you.
You cannot let the judge find out that you shot Dante.
It might get the case thrown out.
Or have him revoke bail.
I hate to interrupt, but if you could join us.
Absolutely, Your Honor.
Apologize for the delay, Your Honor.
Proceed.
Would you state your name for the record?
Detective Dante Falconeri.
Have you ever gone by any other name?
Yes, Dominic Pirelli.
Why is that?
Because I was working as an undercover officer for the New York City Police Department. My assignment was to infiltrate the Corinthos organization.
Your Honor, I would like at this time, since I will not have an opportunity to question Detective Falconeri, to point out that it is only fair to remind the court that he has since resigned from the NYPD.
Fair enough. Proceed.
You are now a detective with the Port Charles Police Department, is that correct?
That is correct.
And you got this job in part because of your outstanding work as a detective for the police department. Isn't that true?
I can't really speak to that.
Objection, relevance.
Move it along, please.
While working for Mr. Corinthos, did you come across any funds, offshore or otherwise?
Objection. Again, Your Honor, Mr. Falconeri is not an accountant or an expert in finance in any
I'll
way.
take it into consideration. Answer the question.
Yes, Mr. Corinthos has access to a great deal of funds.
As evidenced by the exorbitant bond that my client has already posted.
Infiltrating the Corinthos organization took courage, Detective Falconeri. Mr. Corinthos is a very dangerous man.
Objection, prejudicial.
I'll overrule, but be careful, counselor.
Thank you, Your Honor. You came straight here from the hospital, is that correct?
That is correct.
And why were you in the hospital?
Objection, relevance.
I'll allow.
I was recovering from a gunshot wound
And where were you when you got shot?
in the living room of Mr. Corinthos.
Tell us what happened.
Objection!
Your Honor, how Detective Falconeri got shot has no bearing on the issue at hand.
Mr. Falconeri has already given his statement to the police, as Ms. Walsh well knows.
How does any of this affect your request for revocation of bail?
The conditions under which Detective Falconeri was shot may increase the risk of Mr. Corinthos leaving the country.
Which he hasn't done so far, and Mr. Falconeri made that statement some time ago.
Well, he may want to elaborate.
Of course. Well, if Ms. Walsh feels that her own witness is being misleading or unclear, well, then by all means continue.
What are you doing?
The facts are clear. When Detective Falconeri attempted to arrest Mr. Corinthos, he was found shot and bleeding on his living room floor.
After which my client called an ambulance.
The more you argue, the more I want to know what Detective Falconeri has to say. I'll allow you to proceed with this line of questioning.
Thank you, Your Honor. Detective Falconeri, when you were recovering from emergency surgery, you provided your first statement, is that correct?
Yes, I did.
And I assume you were heavily sedated.
I knew what I was saying.
Do you want to add any additions or clarifications to your original
Your
statement?
Honor, she's leading.
You have one chance to ask a fair question.
Detective Falconeri, we can all be fair here and say that you were shot on the afternoon of January 29th in the living room of Mr. Corinthos. And I don't think I need to remind you that you were under oath. And I'm going to ask you a very simple question. Who shot you?
Mr. Falconeri has already given his statement, Your Honor.
I'm simply asking for clarification.
And why would you pressure your own client into changing his statement?
And why are you so terrified about what he might say?
Enough. Answer the question.
Could you ask the question again, please?
On the night you attempted to arrest Mr. Corinthos, who shot you?
Mr. Corinthos called me to his residence for an assignment. It didn't make any sense. I suspected I'd been made, meaning that Mr. Corinthos had figured out that I was undercover.
And you went to his home anyway?
I did. When I got there, Mr. Corinthos did not appear to be on the premises. I was unarmed. I did not call for backup as I did not want to escalate the situation. I knew that Mr. Corinthos kept a gun in his desk drawer. While I was alone in the living room, I took the precaution of unloading the gun. In doing so, it jammed. In getting the gun back in the working order, it discharged and I accidentally shot myself.
You have a great deal of experience with firearms. In fact, your records indicate many awards for marksmanship. So how did you manage to jam a gun and shoot yourself?
Objection, she's badgering her own witness.
Your Honor, Ms. Walsh obviously thinks Mr. Falconeri is lying. I move that all of his testimony be thrown out and that all charges against my client be dropped.
Nice try, Ms. Miller. Wrap it up, Ms. Walsh.
No further questions.
Detective Falconeri, you may step down.
Once again, Detective Falconeri's testimony notwithstanding, I remind the court of Mr. Corinthos' formidable resources and I ask that bail be revoked.
I'm calling a brief recess to review. Don't go far. It shouldn't take very long.
All rise.
So far, I'm not impressed. All you did was give Dante another chance to say that the shooting was an accident.
The judge can read between the lines.
You hope.
You know, you may have pulled some strings to get me assigned to this case, but I will try it my own way, Mr. Jax. Okay?
Fine.
What do you think? I think that when we leave the building, you shouldn't stand too close to Sonny. Don't see anything, and that if anything unexpected happens, get out of the way.
I appreciate what you did.
You're not gonna go to prison because I screwed up and botched your arrest. You're gonna go to prison because you killed Claudia. That's what this was all about.
I understand. Goodbye, Sam.
The more you talk to Dante, the more ammunition you are giving the prosecution.
I might not see him again.
I didn't hear that.
All rise.
Something's going on.
We're fine.
If bail's revoked, he's gonna run.
Not on my watch.
Mr.
Call lots
Corinthos,
back up.
if your bail agreement remains in place, you will be free until your trial is over. If I revoke bail, you will be taken into custody immediately and stay in jail until your trial is over. You understand?
Yeah, yes, Your Honor.
All right, now, I made my decision.